Whose fault is it? A story. Part 2. How can you fit it all in? Idrak laughed. I don't know. I like to eat. For some reason, Tonya had fun with him. His jokes were just like her dad's, which comforted her. By the time he took her back home, Tonya no longer cared about his appearance or his age. She kissed him furiously. This was the beginning of her affair with a married man. She initially thought that she would simply use him for his money, but before she knew it, she had become attached to him. Lena was not pleased about her daughter's behavior. Do you know that his son is only 2 years old? Tonya, you must stop this. They went through around 10 IVF circles before they had a baby. What's that got to do with me? He has a family. His eldest daughter is your age. So, he has a daughter too? He raised her. She is Natalie's child from her first marriage, but he raised her as his own. Right. Mom, Natalie is getting old. As far as I know, she is older than him, and their relationship has gone stale. You might say I'm straightening their marriage. I bet that he comes home feeling guilty, prostrates himself before her, and showers her with gifts. She'd probably thank me if she knew that it was all because of me. What if you found out that your father was doing this? Well, maybe he did. How would we know? How dare you say that? He loved me. Mommy, please, calm down. I'm just kidding. Don't worry, nothing will happen. I'll dump him once he buys me a new car, alright? The years went by, and the affair picked up pace until the whole city knew about it, including Idrak's family. His wife feigned ignorance and still greeted her husband with the same smile. Their little son was growing up, the spitting image of his father, and Natalie hoped that this would outweigh the mistress. Fat chance. Tonya was trying her hardest to rip Idrak away from his family, not so much out of love, but out of a sense of possessiveness. Even though he fulfilled her every wish and got her back on her feet after her father's death, it still was not enough for her. Tonya wanted him all to herself. She believed that she could be safe and stable only with him. They were really living it up. Idrak enjoyed it after his bland life with Natalie, although he was noticing more and more how this behavior was negatively affecting his health. He also felt pangs of guilt, especially under his eldest daughter's reproachful gaze. But he was unable to break the vicious circle. Most likely he didn't want to. He tried to break up with Tonya once by changing his phone number and lying low, but his resolve only lasted a week. One day, Idrak was forced to have yet another unpleasant conversation when he came to pick Tonya up. I'm tired of spending the night in hotels. They look at me like I am a prostitute. Why don't we rent a place? Baby, we've talked about this many times. I can't move in with you just yet. My family needs me. Natalie can't cope without me, and Angel is still a little boy. Let's wait. I am tired of waiting. It'll either be my way or the highway. I am not joking. This is your final warning. You have to decide. With that, Tonya got out of the car and stopped answering his calls. She was trying to wear him down. Idrak drank heavily for the months he spent away from Tonya. Natalie understood what was happening and hoped that her husband would get through it, accept the breakup, and their lives would return to normal. As soon as he felt better mentally, Natalie took Idrak to a rehabilitation clinic. A week of treatment got him back on his feet. Idrak swore off alcohol for good. He had developed an alcohol dependence during his time with Tonya, which had already damaged his liver. The news scared him. Idrak decided to give up not only alcohol, but also Tonya. Natalie's dream had finally come true, and her husband remained in the family. In the meantime, Tonya was busy seducing a new beau, but only so rumors of him would reach Idrak. The guy was young, handsome, and well off, guaranteed to anger the older man. Yet nothing happened, or so it seemed to Tonya. The news reached Idrak as she had planned. He shrugged it off at first, but at night he suffered from insomnia, imagining his baby being kissed by another man at least every minute. He was at his wits' end and eventually went to see the guy. Idrak had a certain authority in the city, and the guy backed off as soon as he learned that Tonya belonged to another man. This fight has been won, but what's next? He thought. Tonya is a beautiful girl, and she'll have a new man by tomorrow. As soon as morning came, he dialed the number he knew by heart. "Hello," Tonya replied affectionately. "It's me." "I know. Are you going to offer me something?" "No," Idrak was taken aback. "Then why are you calling me?" "I wanted to hear your voice." "Heard it?" "Yes." "Then goodbye." Idrak stood and stared at the blank screen for a long time. That evening he decided to speak to Natalie. "I can't do this anymore. You have to understand me and try to forgive me. I didn't mean to hurt you, but unfortunately it has turned out that way." "So, you are leaving after all?" "Yes." "Can't you see that she just wants your money?" "That's not true. I feel young when I'm with her. Do you understand?" "And what about me?" "I'm sorry. I don't know what to say." "Do you have any idea how despicable this is?" Natalie said bitterly. "You were in love with me since high school and I left my husband for you. I've been with you through thick and thin. I loved you for you and not for your success. I fell in love with you when you had nothing, and I believed in you. You promised before God to be with me in sickness and in health. I'll provide you with everything you need. Things will remain almost the same as before. I'll still be responsible for you." "Do you think that's what I'm talking about? You were my friend, my family. What about all the things we went through before we had Angela? You were the one who wanted this child. Do you have any idea what it was like for me? All those procedures and miscarriages. What did I have him for? For whom?" "Natalie, forgive me. I'm sorry. I didn't think it would turn out like this." "You didn't think? You didn't think?" Natalie's voice rose and there were tears in her eyes. "You were thinking. You must have been tired of being happy, so you wanted something spicier. You bastard! What are you doing to me and the children? How can I look my parents in the eye now? How am I supposed to put up with all these pitying looks? The whole city is laughing at me. I refuse to divorce you. I'll take everything. Let's see how much love she has for you when you're left penniless." "You need to calm down." "I won't calm down. Get out and don't come back here again. Mark my words, this woman will drive you into the grave. Natalie's voice was still ringing in Idrak's head as he packed his things. His heart was breaking for her and the children, but he still put his interests above others. Did he think that by abandoning his family and leaving his home filled with grief and pain, he would find his own happiness? No joy can come from causing someone else grief. But what if? They rented a beautiful apartment Tonya had found. It had a large bedroom, stylish renovations, and a large enclosed balcony with a view of the park. It cost quite a bit, but Idrak didn't mind thinking that he had found new happiness and a fresh start in life. He believed that he could live several lives in one, with a new woman and a new lifestyle. Tonya was a hurricane, and life with her was an endless holiday. She laughed a lot, ate and drank a lot, and laughed passionately. This was exactly what Idrak needed, for he was tired of the peace that all people strive for. 6 months passed since Idrak had left his family. He saw his son from time to time, but his adopted daughter severed all contact, viewing her father's betrayal as a personal insult. Natalie invariably gave Idrak a peck on the cheek when she met him in public to keep up appearances. It looked as if their conditional divorce had gone pretty smoothly. If only Idrak knew how much Natalie was suffering. She cried at night, her heart ground into pieces, but had to pretend she was fine again in the morning. Natalie refused to let Angela see her tears. Meanwhile, Tonya was enjoying her life with Idrak. Once again, she dressed in the best boutiques, went to the best resorts, and could afford the life many people could only dream of. Her next goal was marriage, but Idrak resisted. Natalie would not grant him a divorce, so Tonya was forced to wait for Natalie to grow tired of this game. Idrak could insist on a divorce, but he did not want to take his wife to court, for now. I'll give him a baby, and then he'll have to marry me, Tonya once told her mother. I don't know if you should be forcing him, her mother said doubtfully. Of course I should. You must fight for your happiness. It doesn't just fall into your lap. Tonya, I'm sorry, but your methods are pretty aggressive. I love you, but what good can possibly come of this? I saw Natalie at the mall. She was as pale as a ghost. She didn't even say hello to me. She glared at me like I was the enemy. Oh, you make it sound like she was your friend in the first place. She wasn't. But we crossed paths at events. I am your daughter, not her. You should be thinking about my happiness. If it weren't for Idrak, we would have sold this house already. You should be grateful. Things have turned out this way. Thanks to Idrak. Our life is the same as when Dad was alive. Lena had nothing to say to this. She understood the truth of Tonya's words, but she also understood how awful the situation was. Lena would never have destroyed another family and would have died if Victor had done that to her. Lena applied every situation to herself. She felt genuinely sorry for the woman who had given her husband not only herself, but her whole life. It was a stormy Independence Day that year. Tonya and Idrak went to a friend's country estate and partied hard as always. Idrak had drank more than usual that day and could barely stand on his feet by 5 p.m. Tonya managed to put him to bed and continued to enjoy herself. He woke up closer to 11 p.m. and finding Tonya laughing beside some guy. Quietly said, "My stomach hurts. Let's go home." "We can ask Steve for some medicine." "Steve!" she yelled. "Stevie!" "Tonya, please, stop shouting. I really don't feel well. Let's go." Tonya studied a drug and agreed to go when she realized that he was in a bad way. At home, she gave him a tablet for his stomach, which he promptly threw up together with everything he had drunk and eaten that day. An hour later, he got out of the bathroom and went to bed. Tonya awoke to strange noises in the middle of the night. Without opening her eyes, she reached out to a drug and whispered, "Are you all right, babe?" Her hand came away wet, making Tonya think that a drug had vomited again. "Yuck!" she exclaimed and jumped out of bed. She crossed the bedroom and turned on the bathroom light, screaming when she saw her hand, which was not covered in vomit as she had thought, but blood. Rushing back into the bedroom and turning on the light, she tried to shake a drug awake. He was drowning in a pool of his own blood. Finding the phone, she frantically dialed 911. It was only at the hospital that Tonya realized she was still wearing her very short pajama bottoms and revealing top. She also saw her reflection, blood smeared across her hair and half her face. Sitting down on the cold floor, Tonya rested her head on her knees and waited. Her heart beat so fast she thought it might jump out of her chest. "Dirty whore," someone said, and Tonya raised her head. A drug's daughter stood over her. "Get out of here." "Elsa, move away from her," Natalie said sternly, appearing out of nowhere. More and more people were gathering in the corridor. Tonya understood that they were all related to a drug in some way, either his or Natalie's relatives. She could not bear to be in the same room with them, for they all stared at her with contempt and disgust. A doctor came out to see them at 4:40 a.m. "Mrs. Lauren." "That's me," Natalie replied. "I'm sorry to tell you this, but we couldn't save him. He suffered extensive hemorrhaging caused by alcohol intake. He had liver problems." "No!" Elsa screamed and rushed at Tonya. Luckily, her relatives held her back. "It's your fault, you bitch! You killed my father! You're a murderer! A murderer! You stole him from us!" Tonya covered her face with her hands and backed away. She burst into tears once she had run out of the hospital. She could not believe a drug was gone. It had happened as swiftly and unexpectedly as with her father. She was alone again. Tonya wandered down the street as the city glowed in the morning sunlight. Someone rushed past her on the way to work, eyeing her with suspicion. "It's not my fault," she kept repeating. "It's not my fault. It's not my fault. It's not my fault."